Hello friend, this is Naren and I am back with another video. In this video we're gonna talk about variable precedence in Terraform. In our previous video we have talked about variables in Terraform, and now let's talk about the variable precedence. So let's go to the code. VS Code. I have created a project that deploy a VPC. This VPC is fully dynamic, meaning we also have a variable.tf file which we use to define our default value to the variables. Apart from the project, we have the readme files. These readme files will list it out all the possible order of the variable precedence. It's the highest to lowest. Variable precedence is determine which value get used when a variable is defined in multiple places. So first we have a command line flag using var. So if you are define a variable in the command line, this will take the first priority the when the value is assigned to your variable. Second is command line variable file with the option var file. So if you have a custom tf var files, it will take the second priority, because as you can understand, the command line with the var first priority, and if you are using a file, then the file will be the second priority, and the third priority will get by environment variable. Okay, environment variable always a little bit different in Terraform. Environment variable you can define with the prefixed value tf underscore var underscore dot your variable name. Okay, and then we have some auto loaded. Then we have a auto loaded variable definition which can automatically load from the Terraform. So you can see here terraform.tf var file is auto loaded if it present, meaning if you have a file terraform.tf vars, it will be recognized by Terraform and it will be loaded. And then fifth priority will get the star.auto.tf var or star.auto.tf var.json file. This is also a auto loaded in lexical order. And then the last we have a default value whatever you specified in the variable.tf file. So let's look in this project. We are going to create a VPC. Okay, in the VPC we have a region section. We can also remove, because the region we have provide in the provider hard coded, because there is a problem in the Terraform. When you are define a region dynamically and your region get changed, then it will be, the state file will not working as expected. So that's why we put it to the hardcore region here to avoid that problem. So now let's talk about the first precedent. So we can go to the readme again, and then we have the first precedent is here. So we can get the variable VPC name would be okay. So let's say we will pass the name variable from the command line cls. Here is the project. Now let's say terraform init. We have to initialize the project. See, when you are working on the phrase project, terraform init must be first command that you have to run. Now init command doing two or three things is like initialized your backend. So since we are not specifying the backend details, so Terraform consider by default a local backend, meaning it will be create a backend in your current directory. If you There are multiple options for the backend. You can use S3 bucket or any other cloud provider, and then it will be download the provider plugin. In this case we are using HashiCorp AWS, and the version is 5.100.0. So we have init command has been successfully done. So now let's say terraform plan. So we are planning to create one VPC in US East. So this is the plan command, as we already discussed in the previous video. Plan is just give you an overview that can determine that what is going to be created on the AWS cloud provider or any cloud provider. So this command is very useful when you are try to know what are the resources you are going to create before applying the Terraform apply command. So now you can see the plan gets success. So let's say Terraform apply, and here we are providing the var, and then we are saying name equal to from command line. This will be the name of our VPC, and then say auto approve, and we are going to approve. We are going to creating our new VPC with the different name. If you look at the name in the code, then you can see the name is VPC from Terraform, and in the command line we have changed it to, let's check on the region that we have. Let's say go to the US East region, and this is the US East region. In the US East region you can see we have a from command line. So now this is the one things that is can pass from a command line. And now if you create a var file, for example, let's create a custom var file, my var dot tf var, and in this you can say let's say first let's going to destroy the created things. Let's say destroy. We will gonna destroying the VPC that has been created by us, and when you are running the destroy command, it will always refresh the state. And it's about the Terraform state file. We will talk in our next video what is the Terraform stage and how you can putting in the S3 or how you can manage this. So we have destroyed a resource completely. So now we have created my var.tf files. So let's say we can give name VPC from my var.tf var file. That's it. We can only keep one variables and keep the default, all the value default. So let's say we will run the Terraform apply again with saying var file by passing the var file name. So let's say var file, and then name is, and then we have to pass the file name, right? So we have to pass the file name, so you can remove this one, and the file name is my var.tf vars, right? Let's run this one, and now if you look, then we are creating again a new VPC, and this new VPC is taking the value from the var file. Okay, this is the second precedent of the variables from the command line. So you can see we have created 6 resources again further, so you can refresh it here. Now you can see we have a VPC get created, a VPC from my var.tf var file. That's great. Let's destroy the VPC that we have created. Destroy. No, it's my bad. I type wrong spell of the destroy. Now we have destroying the VPC that was created by us. Now the third Now third variable precedence is for the Terraform variables definitions. Terraforms, manage some file. Terraform manage some file automatically loaded. Terraform loaded some file automatically. If you give a file named terraform.tfvar, then Terraform will load that file automatically. And there is another two files that Terraform load automatically in alphabetical order. It's like anything with and dot auto dot tfvar, or anything and with dot auto dot tfvar dot json. Let's create the file. So now we have the myvar file. Okay, now we can copy this one and let's delete. We don't need this file anymore. We have done for this file. Now instead of this file we can create terraform.tfvar. Okay, let's create this file and define a value, a VPC from terraform tfvar file. Terraform.tfvar files. Okay, now you have defined this. Now this we do not need to specify any this file. We do not need to specify from the command line, so we can run terraform apply auto approve directly without passing any option, without passing any var option. So now you can see 6 resource is going to be created, and you can see it will be creating VPC, but this time it will get the value from the terraform.tfvar. So let's go to the console, refresh the console page, and you can see a VPC from terraform.tfvar. So this is the third priority or third precedence. Now let's destroy this one, and we can go for destroy this one, and then we can go for the next one. And you can also, let's while it's destroying, we can remove the terraform var file. Let's delete this file, yes. And then instead of this file we can create my var.auto.tfvar. Let's create this file, and now let's take a look about this. We are my var.auto.tfvars. Okay, so now let's run the terraform apply again without passing any um, command line parameter for the variables. So now you can see it will be start looking the uh, my var.auto.tfvar. You can create multiple .auto.tfvar. And why this file is exist, because sometime as a DevOps, when you are working on the CI/CD process, you may have some kind of environment variable which you want to putting in this file for the automation reason, and then this file can get executed. Okay, so now you can see the VPC name has been changed, myvar.auto file. So this is the third precedence. Now let's destroy the VPC. Let's destroy the VPC, and then we will check about the fourth one, that is nothing but the environment variable. Now, working on the Terraform, you must understand that environment variable is slightly different in Terraform than other languages. When you are working on the environment variable, Terraform require you to predefine tf underscore var underscore and your variable name. So let's say export, this is the window, so we will set tf var. So this string should be predefined and in the capital letter in order to understand this is the environment variable, and then we can give a name like uh, let's say VPC from environment variable, and then we can say set this environment variable. And before this setting this environment, we have to delete our auto file, otherwise auto file will take the highest precedence than environment. So we will delete this one, and then we have to run our apply command again, and then this time the VPC name get the value from the environment variable. And if you can refresh the page on the console, then you can see a VPC get created with VPC from environment variable. Now remember, here I use the double quote in the environment variable. That should not be the case, so don't make such a mistake, otherwise it will be create a problem for you to giving a reference of the VPC, because the double quote also considered as a name of the VPC. So let's destroy this new VPC. Now we are going to destroying this VPC. Okay, this is the four types of precedence we have, and the last one is always be the default value, meaning if meaning if nothing else is set, default will get executed. So if you not set any command line var or any command line var files or terraform.tf var or any auto.tf var files or environment, then the default one get executed. So now let's say we have deleted and we do not have any additional files that we are using for the variable value passing. Let's run the Terraform apply and auto approve. Now this will get all the default value which has been provided in the variable.tf file. So if you can go and refresh this page, then you can see the just a second. Oh, I made a mistake. It's created successfully, but because we have set the environment variable, right? So if we want to, let's say in this we have set the environment variable, then we can, let's say, open the CMD. Okay, now we can go CD and then E and then transfer to E. Now let's say Terraform. First we have to destroy because we have created from the previous command prompt, right? So let's say Terraform destroy auto approve. Now we are going to destroying this plan. Let's close this one. We don't need this window anymore because the last one is getting the value from the variable.terform, and that is the default value. So now let's refresh this one, and it is still exists because when it destroying the things, first all the reference that has been created, that has been associated in the VPC, it get destroyed first, and then at the end VPC get destroyed one. So now you can see there is no VPC. So now let's run the Terraform apply command, apply, and then auto approve. This will create VPC with the default value that has been provided in the variable.tf file. Now the thumb rule for this is you can understand in this way that if you have CLI var, it get the first priority, then second priority is var file, then the third priority get dot auto.tf var, or Terraform.tf vars, and then the third priority get envtf var, and then the last one is the default one. So this is the thumb rule you have to remember when you are working with the precedence of the variables. That's it for this video, and thank you for watching my video. And if you are new to my video, I request you to like my video, subscribe the channels if you are not, and then press the bell icon so you will get first notification when I publish a new video. Thank you friends, thank you very much.